is the ultimate travel guide from the people who know it best. Weekends with Yankee.
Heading north from Martha's Vineyard, we end up in Mount Desert Island, the home of Acadia National Park. Its unique geography makes it the first place to see the sunrise each morning in the U.S. So I decided to get up at the crack of dawn to witness it firsthand. Right now I'm on Cadillac Mountain in Acadia National Park in Maine. At 1,500 feet, it makes it the tallest mountain on the Atlantic coast of the United States. The day begins for America right here. Cadillac Mountain here in Acadia National Park is famous for its sunrises and great panoramic views. And a lot of amateur photographers like myself like to take pictures here. But for professional photographers like Jerry Monkman, this is the ultimate canvas, and we're about to meet him.
My name is Jerry Monkman, and I am a conservation photographer. I shoot all over New England with a focus on Acadia National Park. This is Jordan Pond, and I've photographed here dozens of times. Jordan Pond is one of the more popular parts in the park, and it's, to me, it's almost perfect the way it's laid out. You couldn't have sculpted it with clay any better than this. One of the things I'm always looking for is trying to repeat the patterns of the shapes of these boulders with the shapes of the mountains out there, which are called the bubbles, because I just like getting that sort of repetition and compose it in a way that sort of anchors the shot with that boulder, but then it also leads your eye to the repeating shape in the distance, so you're drawn through the rest of the photograph that way. And when you get this side lighting like we're getting this afternoon, that helps bring out that texture. We also have these reeds here, which are starting to actually turn color just like the trees.
Yeah.
So some fall foliage in the pond itself.
I'd have to imagine being in Acadia National Park at this time of year would be a great time to take photos.
It is. I mean, the weather's ideal, and then the fall colors just make everything that much more dramatic.
What makes Acadia more special than other places you've photographed this time of year?
I just think it's a classically beautiful landscape and a real microcosm of New England in one small area. You've got these bald granite peaks, you've got incredible rocky shoreline, Sand Beach, which to me is the most beautiful beach in New England, and just some amazing forests as well.
I've always liked photography, and I found that when I'm sort of in a photographic mode in my head, that I start noticing light differently. What would be a good tip for somebody who wants to capture fall foliage in its splendor? What would be your #1 tip to them?
#1 tip would be to think about the light that you're shooting it in. Shooting like at lunchtime, midday light, it's gonna look kind of washed out and kind of bluish and not those rich, warm colors. So early morning, late afternoon, cloudy, foggy days are actually really good days as well to photograph foliage. What's challenging here is right when the light starts to get perfect, it goes behind that mountain.
Is there a perfect photo?
I take a lot of photos that I think are good, that I like a lot. And I know when I'm out and I'm shooting that things are gonna be pretty awesome. Boy, the light on the ripples is pretty cool. That said, I don't know if I've ever gotten home and looked at a photo that I thought was great and didn't have some complaint about it somewhere. My goal is to capture a moment as best I can, and it might not be the most perfect photograph, but it might explain that place in time and how I was feeling at that time.
Could you just raise your hands? Wait.
Hey, good thing I've been going to the gym.
Right?
My goal is to compose a picture that's simple in its composition so people actually understand what I'm taking a photo of, but also make it interesting and dynamic. So that's the challenge. It takes a lot of practice and a lot of experimentation.
Okay. So I'm going to create. So look at my whale tail.
Oh, that's really cool.
Now it becomes a little bit of a subject.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I'll have to steal that one now. So that light's about to head behind the mountain here, so we should probably find a spot for sunset.
Okay. This is beautiful.
Yeah, I love this place.
I think photography is a great artistic outlet for me. I can't paint, I'm not a poet, but at least with photography, I feel every once in a while I might stumble on a good picture. The more I go out and photograph an area, I start to see light, and it makes an imprint not only in my head, but in my soul as well.
This is a spot I love to shoot because it's still a working harbor. One of the cool things about Acadia National Park is, most national parks are like just a big chunk of wilderness set off by itself, and Acadia's mixed in with all the little fishing villages and the towns. We're in Manset Harbor right now. You can see the opening of Somme Sound here, which is a fjord that almost cuts Mount Desert Island in half. And out here to the right is the open ocean. This time of day, on a harbor like this, it's almost all about light to me. You can see the water. The blue is completely different than what we were seeing at Jordan Pond a couple hours ago.
Alternating blue and pink.
Yeah, and I'm always fascinated by that color this time of day reflecting in the water. I'll just try to find some interesting boats to break up the water a little bit, but that light on the water is the subject I'm most interested in.
And you always feel like that photograph, you want it to reflect that inner feeling, and it's just, how do you capture this? It all seems so perfect, and I feel so inadequate trying to capture it.
You're not alone. I mean, that's the big challenge of this is photos for us are about emotional moments in our lives usually. But when we get them back and look at them, we don't see the emotion we were feeling.
I think at the end of the day, people like things of beauty or drama, and to be able to capture it and take it home and say, you'll never guess what I saw, is a wonderful feeling. So thank you so much for giving me just a slice of the magical light and place that they call Acadia National Park. It really is special.
Yeah, you're welcome. Any excuse to get out here is a good one for me.